Sinn Féin welcome the bill. We'll be supporting the bill. I'm disappointed, as ever, when we have to submit amendments quite rapidly or before the second stage is finished. But I won't dwell on that tonight. There's much more that needs to be done, I think, both inside and beyond this bill. Yesterday we saw the daft.ie report. The average rent in Dublin hit over €2,000 for the first time, and has been on the rise for 31 quarters now. I think that highlights the inconsistency and the non-compliance with the rent pressure zones. The report also highlighted that there were just 2,700 homes available to rent nationwide on the 1st of May, which is the lowest recorded since daft.ie started compiling those statistics in 2006. In contrast, more than 4,000 hotel bedrooms were under construction in the first quarter of this year. I think similar to during the financial crisis, when workers were reluctant to assert their workers' rights, I think we're seeing the same situation here now while tenants are reluctant to assert their tenancy rights in fear of having no place to call home at all. So I think the rental crisis has highlighted that even when laws are strengthened in regard to tenants, there's still a cohort of landlords who actively evade those laws, lettings that don't meet minimum standards or overcrowding laws, non-registration with the RTB, or rents raised higher, RPZ limits are all commonplace. We need the RTB to have the resources to inform all renters of their rights and to build up tenants' confidence, and that's a funding issue. And we also need the RTB and local authorities to be funded where they can carry out inspections to combat non-registration. Furthermore, the continuation of rents being higher than mortgage repayments in every property type and county in the state highlights a harsh reality for most renters who are paying grossly inflated rents and therefore being unable to save for a down payment on a house and locked into a vicious cycle. While the Minister will say that Rebuilding Ireland is the remedy to this, a Rebuilding Ireland home loan requires a down payment in many cases of €28,800 in cities like Dublin. The affordable housing scheme is still in its infancy, and properties acquired under Part 5 are meeting the huge social housing need. I wonder, when Rebuilding Ireland was launched in 2016, did the government believe that the situation would become as dire as it has today and are sinking further into the crisis? One issue that the bill is taking action on that I largely welcome is the limitations put on so-called rent evictions, the action where a landlord can evict tenants from a letting for the purpose of, quote, substantial renovation, and to be able to rent outside of rent pressure zone limits when they re-advertise the properties. I've heard, albeit anecdotally, of this happening to tenants more so over the last couple of months than at any other time, and I wonder, are some landlords doing this in anticipation of this legislation? I seriously welcome the inclusion of student accommodation under rent pressure zone legislation. I want to commend the efforts of the Union of Students of Ireland, NUIG Student Union, DCU Students Union. We put forward a proposal as well in the past, so I welcome that. I commend that move. I welcome the extension of the notice to quit periods form part of the bill. We obviously proposed a 90-day period in the past if a tenancy was 6 months old, as opposed to 35 days. I want to welcome the Minister's amendments at the Dáil committee stage aimed at curbing short-term lettings. I think of its current status in Dublin, I think the city is quickly becoming like larger European cities which reap the benefits of tourism but just fail to cater for residents. And I would just bring attention to robust enforcement again of those measures and support for Dublin City Council to do this. I'm disappointed, and Sinn Féin are disappointed, that the bill doesn't include the enabling legislation for a rental deposit scheme, and a limit of 1 month on the amount charged as a deposit. The deposit protection scheme has had legislation approved by Cabinet as far back as 2014, and 5 years on, I'm sure many deposits have been lost unfairly. And I understand that, Minister, you stated that further legislation is in the pipeline to deal with this, and maybe you could provide an update on that as well. Just to conclude, we'll be supporting the bill at second stage. We submitted a small number of amendments for the remaining stages. Thanks, Gabriel.